Yo, welcome to the podcast, Let's Talk More Do. I'm your host, Lamar Griffin. Phillip Lindsay, the hometown hero, in the building. What up with you, man?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me today, man. I'm excited.
I appreciate you getting out here, man. It's hard to catch Phil and get him on camera and all types of stuff because he don't do that. Like, some guys want to be in front of the camera. Some guys want to work in silence. Phil ain't doing it, so this is a rare sighting.
Yeah.
You went from being undrafted to Pro Bowl, and you never left the crib.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you were called, like, I know people here are, like, super proud of you. High school, college, NFL. Like, what was that like for you? Like, especially speaking of, like, the kid Phil, like, not the businessman. Like, you accomplished, I don't know how many other people have done something like that.
Yeah, I would have to look. There's maybe a couple other ones, but something that's very rare to do, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to be the one to do it. To be honest with you, it's one of those things where, like you said, it's a childhood dream. You sit here, you dream about it, you work your butt off, and it comes true, and it's something that's a surreal moment, and something that I'll be able to say for the rest of my life, and it's something that, nobody will ever be able to take from you.
Ever. You did 4,000 in high school. What'd you do? Do you still have the most yards from scrimmage at CU as well?
I think at this point right now, and records are meant to be broken.
Exactly.
So at some point, somebody will do some crazy things. But right now I think I hold a lot. I hold many records up there right now.
Are you going to go down there? Shout out to Dion and the team down there. Are you going to go check out some games? How do you feel about Dion? And I mean, that's you. I feel like, and this is just me generalizing as someone from the outside looking in, a lot of guys wanted to go to CU after they saw what you did. I feel like you opened the door for recruiting and for the school, and you put CU on the map.
Yeah.
What do you think about Dion and what they got going on down there?
Yeah, I mean, Prime's doing some great things. I mean, he's bringing the show there, and everybody's invested in there. They're going to have a lot of people excited for them and waiting to see what goes on. I've been up there a couple of times. I like what they're doing, and I'm excited to see the product when it's time. And people got to understand it's still going to take some time. That's just it's just playing football, and it's his first time being in Colorado. So people got to be patient with that. But if they are, there's going to be some special stuff coming everybody's way.
All right, I saw a tweet when I was doing research for this podcast. The Rock was welcoming you to the XFL. Talk to me about what it's like, because we went from the NFL to the XFL. What was playing in the XFL like? What was the XFL like? What did you like about it?
I think the XFL is great. You want to know why? Because there's thousands and thousands of players that can really play the game that will never get the opportunity because in the NFL, they're limited to so many spots. I think this gives a lot of the younger players an opportunity to showcase their talents that they may not have gotten to showcase it enough, get some film out there and get ready to hopefully get a chance to go to a NFL team and showcase there. Of course, I think, everything takes time. And if the XFL can continue to stay afloat and over time continue to get more revenue, get more money, it's gonna be a great outlet for players that, you're not gonna be making the millions, but if you're making hundreds of thousands like that, like, why would you not play? You're playing something that you love to play, and you get to get some money in your pocket, like, and even now for a lot of those kids, you gotta think, like, coming out of college, you don't have nothing.
You don't got zero. You're supposed to go get a job instead of going to play football.
Exactly. Well, and then you get to get $65,000-$70,000 to play football. I mean, hey, you can't beat that. You really can't. So I urge the young players that if you don't make it to the NFL, don't stop living your dream. Don't stop dreaming. Go and do the XFL, because something good can come out of that if you go out there and you handle your business.
Talk to me about how you prepare for things. Like, talk to me about something that was challenging for you and, like, how you kind of overcame that.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, growing up, we've always kind of been structured to do, things, clean the house, make sure our rooms are clean, make sure dishes are washed. And then when my father would get home, so he worked at RTD, and so he would be gone at 3 a.m. and get back at 11:30, 12. Oh yeah, but for him, it's like, once we get home, everybody needs to be ready because we're gonna go work out. Okay. Like, that was the whole thing. That was how we did stuff. So we've always been, like, structured to have things done, like do stuff and always be prepared, right? So, going in from Little League to high school, it was the same. And I think that's why, I was able to have so much success at the beginning. I think people don't understand how important it is to have your mother and your father in your life. And I was able to have both. And it's no knock to the women because, the women are always going to be the rock of the family. But the thing about a father is you can never, a father's love, a father's affection, a father's way of giving back, you can never take that for granted. Yeah. And for my father to be able to do that for us, I think it's the reason why, his kids have been as successful as they have been right now and have a shot in life. Not just for sports, but just in life in general. Yeah. For my father, I think he got us really prepared. And when I got to high school, I was ready. I was focused. I had everything kind of structured. I was doing my school, and I wasn't the best person in school, but I did what I had to do. I was able to have success. I think one of the biggest things I had to go through was when I did blow my knee out my junior year. I just, I've been doing well, been killing it. I think I was on top of the world.
Numbers were crazy.
it was my senior year. And I was supposed to, I think for myself is like I was gonna go for 2,000 yards, and I think that was gonna, And so but the first game of the year blew my knee out, right? Never had an injury like that. Wow. Never felt, the way it felt, the pain and everything else, and that humbled me so much, though. It taught me a lot of stuff even at that young age, of understanding of how something can be taken away from you so fast when you don't appreciate it or you just assume that that's what it's supposed to be. That kind of put me back down, it's just a person, what I mean? And, there's no lonely spot in all your teammates. And that year is a year, and I was on my uncle's team, it was at Denver South, and we ended up going to state championship.
All right.
And we had a lot of talented players. And I think that year was hard for me because it's I'm sitting here, I've been working my butt off since I was a freshman. We all grew up together for this moment. And the first game, I'm doing well. I think I almost went for 100 yards. And actually, I sat out the second game because I didn't really know I tore my knee. And I didn't, exactly, right? Thinking that we didn't have we didn't have the money and the technology. We didn't have the money to go and just go to a doctor. Right. And so I'm thinking, it's something else. It's nothing too serious. I actually played against Denver East, and it was a rivalry game, and I went for almost 100 yards. I broke a 70-yard touchdown, and kind of find out I had no ACL on my bone.
Dang.
Same cut I did the first game happened again, and I was done. I just had got offered to University of Colorado with John Embry at that time.
Okay.
But when you have verbally commit, that stuff's, they can easily take your stuff, right? And I had a couple other offers that they took off the table from me. So for me, it was hopefully Colorado keeps my offer. What was crazy was Embry at that time came to my house for an in-house visit.
Okay.
And we've asked him how long were they going to give him, and he heard that they were going to give him the rest of his contract at least, which I think he had 1 or 2 more years. Well, when he left, we turned on the TV, and I kid you not, we turned on the TV and they fired that man without him even knowing.
Wow.
So I'm sitting here,
business,
I'm sitting there watching the TV. This man's getting in his car, doesn't even know that he done got fired yet. And I'm sitting here man, what's going to happen? And luckily, and, I'm thankful that Coach Mike McIntyre, who I still talk to this day, a great coach, honored my scholarship, man, and he didn't have to. I was a $140, man, going into college, $150. And, when he walked in there, my knee was all messed up. I didn't have the resources to have the proper rehab. So I was all messed up. And he took a chance on me and kept me. And, a lot of good came out of that.
Talk to me about, and your sister's a superstar. Where she's coaching at?
So I have 2. One is a recovery coach, and then the other one is a head coach at Prairie View A&M back in Houston.
Everybody's winning.
Yeah, everybody's doing their thing, man. Like I said, at this point, in life, it's just, you get in where you fit in, man, and you make the best of all your opportunities. And she's getting the opportunity to coach at her alma mater, be somewhere where I think she really loves to be, and so she can't, you can't complain about that.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to say that my daughter is 4. We will be looking to be recruited at some point. I don't know if this is illegal, but recruit my daughter. We'll feel like I'm out here pitching, man. All right, so this podcast is Let's Talk More Doers, photographers, entrepreneurs, and creatives. Yeah. You as a running back, talk to me about how you find creativity in the position that you play when, back in the day, I'm from Florida, I love like Mike Allstott. Yeah. Guys where you give him the ball, you know what's coming. He's coming downhill, that rough. Talk to me about creativity and how you use that specifically to your skills.
For sure. I mean, the thing about being a running back is it's supposed to be authentic. It's supposed to be creative. You're supposed to use your instincts, the abilities that God has given you. Everybody has something to them in life in general, right? As a running back, you got to figure out what brings that it factor to yourself, right? Whether it's your speed, your balance, your power, breaking tackles is very big. I mean, there's so much to being a running back in today's game. You got to be able to catch the ball, block, you got to be able to play all kind of special teams. Like, you have to be a jack of all trades. Exactly.
You got to do it every
game, every play, getting the ball, getting hit 24/7. It's a gruesome position that gets disrespected a lot because you feel like it's a dime a dozen, because it's one of those things where when you have the ball in your hands and you're getting hit as much as you are going to take some punishment, you are going to get hurt. But the fact of the matter is, no matter what position you are, where you are on the field, you can get hurt at any time, right? So the thing is, you can't take that from a person if they're good at doing their job as a running back. And I get tired of hearing that like anybody can play running back, because not everybody can play running back.
Facts.
Anybody can run a ball.
I've never done what you've done.
No, don't disrespect the running back's position. Don't disrespect what those men, them Barry Sanders and Walter Paytons, the Reggie Bushes. That's who I grew up on, and like what they have done, and the creativity and the art and the excitement. That's what it's about. And when you take away the running back, it's just 7-on-7 out there.
Basically.
That's it. Like, everybody just runs back and drops back. Like, there's nothing, nobody, the linemen have to just sit there and pass protect. There's no being gritty. No, that's the tough thing. Back in the day, being a running back was what you wanted to be, right?
Yeah, you're right.
You're tough. You're running inside, outside, getting hit, breaking tackles, bleeding. That's what it was all about. It's about building character, building that toughness. Yeah. And and I think that's what we're missing, and people are not understanding. It's like, I feel like the running back position, football was built on that.
Yeah.
Right? Running the football, controlling the clock, taking the other team's soul by them not being able to stop it, by physical, right? Yeah. Physicality, and then it opens the passes, right? And today I just think we want to see score, that we defeat the purpose of what football was about.
I like that, man. Talk to me about, so right now you're going through a transition period right now in your life. What growth have you experienced on facing what you face? A lot of people, myself included, feel that you should be in the NFL right now. I don't think that's a secret. I know how you feel. Actually, I don't know how you feel in your heart, but you know what you deserve. Yeah. What are you going through right now mentally, and what are you battling, and how are you dealing with that?
For sure. I mean, this is the thing, right? And I think this is for anybody. Whether you're playing in the college level when you're done, or you're in the NFL for 10 years, at some point it is going to come to an end, and we're never going to be ready for that. You could probably ask Peyton Manning, and everybody wishes they could continue to play, because that's what we've done our whole entire life. Right? I'm about to be 29. I've been playing since I was 7 years old. That's all you I'm not going to say no, but that's all you've been doing your whole life, right? So the thing about it is, the transition's always going to be rough no matter who you are. I don't care if you've been playing for 10 years, 5 years, only in college. You got to find out something else about yourself while you're playing, and I think that's kind of, for me, is where I'm at now. It's like, I do want to get at least a couple more years left. I got a couple left in me that I can have some explode. Yeah. I got some explosive ready to go out there, and I think I will get the opportunity. And I just got to take advantage of it when the opportunity is given. It just unfortunate how the game is ran now. I just think it's not as authentic as it should be nowadays. I think it's watered down, and I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's sad to say sometimes I feel like it's who you know instead of like people playing because they're good. Yeah. Exactly. Remember
right. When we was young, all you heard was the best player.
Exactly. Right.
You can see now that sometimes that's not the case.
Yeah. Once you get, like, I think that the best authentic football you're going to see now, and honestly, it's getting tampered with a lot in high school now.
High school, yeah.
High school would be
kids being able to go to powerhouse.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the best one is Little League.
Yeah.
Seeing those kids and developing those kids and seeing them out there playing for the love of the game and because that's what they want to do and they're looking up to somebody like myself and want to pretend like they're them and all that. That's when you're getting the beauty of the game. As you get older, you start to understand that it's really political and you get in where you fit in. And for me, I would love to get a couple more years and I'm ready. And like I said, I think I'll get that opportunity. It's just being ready when the opportunity is given.
Man, all right, well, you're a dad, I'm a dad. Talk to me about family. Talk to me about your wife and your support system, and talk to me about what it's been like being a father. I remember after the game, after y'all played the Broncos, I got some dope pics. I put them up on the screen. You and Court came out. You had your kid with you. Like, that was such a cool moment because he was just smiling. Like, he was just so proud. Y'all was chopping it up. But what does it really mean for you to, like, be a father, especially after having your father who was the perfect example?
It means everything to me because it puts you in perspective on what really matters in life, right? We sit here and we play a game and we played our whole life and we think that it's like so serious and we forget that it's just a game, right? And then you find somebody that you love and you marry that person, and everybody knows who is married that marriage is not an easy thing. You're working at it every day, every time, right? You're not gonna always agree on things. You're gonna, then you place, a beautiful child in your life, right?
Now
exactly, right? And now you're worried about a bunch of stuff. Now things that you never thought about come to your mind because you have, you have something you have to take care of now, a living, breathing thing that, is you.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, for me, it's like it's helped keep me level-headed, keep me even ground, and gave me something else to fight for and to also just to enjoy and, not just all about myself, right? When you have a family, when you're married, you have kids, it's not about you. It's about what's best for your family, your little family, right? And so for me, that's it. That's your team, right? And so for me, it's like every time I step out the house, it's like what I do affects my wife and my son, right? For the good or the worse. Yeah. And the thing is, every time we do something, if people would sit there and think about certain things they do before they do it, they would stop them, right? One biggest thing I always thought was like when you get angry about something, to go away for a couple hours, right? If you're still angry the next day, then you have something to, like, you need to go and you handle it whatever way that you're
gonna be done cool.
But exactly, because the thing is, about an hour goes by, you realize that it's not worth it, right? You realize that there's more to this life than sitting here being angry at this one little situation that a lot of times we can't control anyway. So if a lot more people would do that, the world probably would be a better place because it would save a lot of people's lives. It would be safer, everything, right? And I just think that we as a society need to do more thinking and putting other people, first before our own needs, to understand that certain things ain't worth it.
And for everyone that doesn't know, I'm gonna put the link to it because I'm super proud. I was bugging Phil, not bugging him, but I was trying to make a video from Phil from the first time we met 5 years ago. But there are certain guys in the league like Phillip Lindsay, Kareem Jackson's the same. I get to work with him. And there's a lot of other guys that work in silence. Like nowadays, a lot of players, for good reasons, they post everything, post every workout, and if you're not posting, you're not working out. We know that's not true because a lot of guys work in silence. I just got to make a video with you. It was super dope. Just basically, I was just filming. Like when you see me make videos with players like Phil and any of the guys, it's not like we're on a podcast. He just did the workout and I just filmed. It wasn't like, hey Phil, make that cut. Oh, let's do that again. It's like he just works out. I just filmed. So for you, what has it been like working in silence and accomplishing what you've accomplished? And again, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that's like, hey Phil, let me take a video or a picture. You just been grinding in silence and no one sees it. What's that like being in that basically that foxhole by yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of where I feel comfortable at, man. Like, even when we were growing up, is like, working out's not supposed to be pretty, right? Working out, you're supposed to be hurting. You're supposed to be mad. You're supposed to, don't look the best. You're supposed to go through growing pains. Like, that's what it's about, right? And so that everybody always sees this finished product on the field and all that, but they don't really get to see like what you really truly go through, the hurt, the times, like the stuff that's on your mind 24/7 and things like that. And then for me, it's like I love to go out there and let people see the final product. I don't want people to see all this. Yeah, for me, it's like that's what I like to do. I love to do, right? I don't need to showcase everything I'm doing for it to be done. I'm gonna show you on that field when you're across from me and you can't catch me or you can't make a move,
Talk that talk,
so to me, it's like it's all about like, okay, like you think you've been working hard, I'm gonna let you know how I've been working, right?
Just because you ain't posting don't mean you ain't working.
And so for me, it's like I'm gonna put my work ethic and my workouts against yours once camp starts, right? When it's like, okay, first day, second day, third day, that's not what I'm for. For me, it's like week 2, week 3. Yeah. Are you still doing the same thing? Are you still in shape? Are you still healthy? For me, it's like that's what I pride myself off of, by outlasting others. Like that's what I have it tatted on me, and that's what I kind of go by. It's like it's not about now, it's not about one day, it's a whole entire year. And it's like, can you outlast that person and that thing or whatever it is the whole year? And it's about patience, it's about making sure that you're on top of your body, it's about your mindset 24/7. And I think that a lot of these people care just about how they look. And what they can get out of it, right? And social media and all this is a beautiful thing. And I think for you, it's another one, like you work hard for what you do. People don't understand what you go through to get this content, what you do, They just see the finishing products and think, oh, that's easy. They don't see
the hours
and stuff. The money you gotta try to get up to get all this stuff and then make sure your family's okay. Yep. It's a lot of stuff, man, that people will take for granted until they got to be in your shoes, right? So I think for people, it's just like they love to see, and it's cool to see it. You want to see because you know why? When I blew my knee out, you need somebody that did that to feel like you can do it, right?
Just to overcome.
Exactly, right? So when I blew my knee out, I watched Adrian Peterson, who came back 6 months out of surgery and tore it up, right? Well, I wasn't Adrian Peterson, and I didn't have the money like Adrian Peterson and the people, but like that kept me going, right? That gave me a little bit of like motivation and like faith and hope that I could do that and I can overcome this knee injury, because back in the day, you have an ACL, you're done. You ain't playing no more, right?
It ain't even a question that you they just count you out.
And so then after that, for me, then it started to be, well, why not me? Why can't I be that person people look up to, right? I didn't get drafted. Should have got drafted. Should have got drafted. Didn't get undrafted, right? Sat there, people, talk dirty about me. They didn't care about what I had to do. Then all of a sudden, I'm doing all this stuff. Then everybody wants to put input in. Everybody thinks that, they know better and stuff. When it's like at the beginning, you didn't know nothing about me, nor did you care, right? And then all of a sudden, I get down there and I'm doing this stuff, and now you have something to say. And for me, it was like, I want to be that person that people look up to, right? I'm not that 230-pound running back, 6 foot, like what cookie cut what the NFL seems to want now. I was that person that was 180 pounds, making people miss, blocking people, doing everything else that the same person was doing, going on special teams, doing everything else. And I think kids need to see that, man, because in today's world, in today's football, I feel like it's sad for these kids, because these kids feel like if I'm not 6 foot 230, I can't be a running back. If I'm not, if I'm not this big, I can't. And so it took the beauty of playing football. If you were good, you were gonna play. It didn't matter, right? We're as human beings, we're not all gonna look the same built, speed, like that. But the beauty of it is you come together and you find different things in different people, and you put it on a field and you put it together, and you have something special. And now I just feel like it's all show. Like this is, trying to pretend like, you're something that you're really not. So it's very sad for some of these kids to feel like they can't play in the NFL because they're not going to be 6'3" or 6'4" receiver, or they're not going to be a 200-pound running back. But for me, it's like I defeated the odds and went to a Pro Bowl, had 1,000-yard years, stuff that many people have tried to do and did not do, and some have, and I've been able to do that. And one thing, they'll never be able to take that from me.
Ever, bro.
Broke records in college, broke records in the NFL, and haven't fumbled the ball and I haven't fumbled the ball. Like, you can't take that from somebody. You can pretend, you can push them down.
What they say, I forgot who told me this. Ball security is
job security. Yeah, I mean that has always been.
We was at the workout.
Hey, I'm telling you, right? Like, growing up, like Coach Mack always used to say that the heart and soul of everybody is in that football. You put it on the ground, everybody's getting fired. Everybody's losing money, right?
That's true.
And and yet you see some people that can fumble multiple times and still have a job, right? And it's just like, is that really? Is that
we not coming for nobody in particular.
No,
bro, that's my story. Like, that's my guy Dalton's doing behind the scenes right now. He played college football too. My first carry at my school, it was a jet sweep.
Yeah.
I got hit and fumbled. The guy I played D3. The guy that hit me went to the NFL. That's not an excuse, but like I'm probably 160 and I'm running super fast. He hit me, ball come out. I never got another shot. I'm not saying it was right that I fumbled, but I hate it. I still hate my position coach to this day. Everyone else I'm cool with. And some people agree, like, I never got to go in and prove what I could do. But, again, I fumbled, so he must have lost all trust in me.
And that's another thing, though. I don't agree on you fumble, you're done. I don't agree with that. Because it shouldn't be. You proved to me over time. And if you keep doing it over time, then that's one thing, But if, you're going to fumble, it's just the nature of the game. I don't care who you are. Like in college, I've lost us a game because I fumbled. And I fumbled, throughout my career, Little League, high school. And I just told myself, I made myself a promise my senior year of college that I wouldn't fumble the ball. And I haven't fumbled since my senior year in college.
That is
so knock on wood, I got at least a couple more years left. So, they could come and try, but I pride myself off of that. And that doesn't necessarily mean you fumble. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're supposed to feel comfortable. Now, it's one thing to do it all the time, but it's other thing to have it here and there. You're going to have stuff like that happen.
It's crazy to be talking to Phillip Lindsay about that. Like, I just remember being in college, and of course, I felt so bad, and I was just so distraught, and it was just like, and all I kept being, and me, I'm from Florida, so I'm like, all right, I fumbled, I fucked up. Let me get back in. Let me get another rep. And that rep didn't come until like 3-4 games. 6 carries, 86 yards, 1 touchdown.
Exactly.
As soon as I got my chance, they're like, shit, man, this kid can play.
Exactly.
But half the season over.
I know.
So, and again, you know how college work is like. My position coach didn't believe in me because he saw that first fumble, but it's like, you don't know who I am because you've only seen like a little bit.
Right? Exactly. And there's some coaches like that, for whatever reason, whether they're on the hot seat, whatever,
It could be they own insecurities, they force it on you.
Exactly. So, and the goal is like, hey, don't fumble the ball.
That's it. I'm not placing the blame on no one. Just hold on to the rock.
Hold on to the rock.
Let's switch off of the football. Business, Phillip Lindsay.
Yeah.
Of course, you said you got a couple more years in you.
Yeah.
But what are some of the things you want to do that you're either doing right now or you want to do in the future?
For sure.
Business-wise, like business ventures. Like, are you going to coach? Are you going to?
Oh, exactly, man. That's kind of where I'm at in my life right now, is trying to figure out what exactly I want to do after football is done. There's so many things that you can do, but you want to do something that you love to do. You don't want to just do something just because you can make a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, like, you can make a lot of money, but then you're sacrificing certain things, whether it's your joy, whether it's your family. Like, for my whole thing is, like, I'm not willing to give up my time with my family to make a lot of money. It's just like, to me, it's like what are we doing this for if I'm always gone? I'm already always gone with the NFL, with the football, right? So it's like, at some point, it's like, take a step back and be all about my family, be all about my wife and my son and what they're doing. I would love, for me, it's like to be a part of, like, help, grooming kids to be things, whoever they want to be. And it's not just in football, it's in life, right? Just try to be that positive father figure to a lot of kids who don't have that positive father figure around, and that's what a lot of kids are missing. You put that person in their life, it changes the whole dynamic of like their mindset and probably what they do later on.
I just did a podcast with Justin Simmons, and they said if it's 100 kids in the room and you can touch one like you hear it and you think it's a cliche. Like that shit's true. That one kid could go on and do so much.
And you know what's funny is you touch one, but you end up touching more than just one. You know, exactly. You know, and I can look at when my father was coaching us in Little League. You know, he was a lot of people's father, right? Till this day, a lot of those kids who didn't go on to play college football and others still talk to my father today and tell him thank you. Like, you don't understand how much of an impact you have on somebody until you go out there and you do help them out and do the stuff that you feel like is going to help benefit them. These kids, they want you to teach them. They want you to be around. They want somebody to discipline them in a way of like, hey, man, like that's not right.
Yeah.
You know, hold them accountable. They want that. They want somebody that tells them. Like, biggest thing my father always told us, and I tell my son and I tell my wife all the time, is tell them you love them. You know, a lot of people don't hear that a lot, man. And I'm telling you right now, for those people out there, the moms and dads, telling somebody, telling your kid you love them and you're proud of them, that stuff goes so far. My son's 3 years old, and I tell him I love him and I'm proud of him, and I see his little face smile, and he says he loves Dad. I love you, Dad. Like, there's nothing better than that.
It's the best.
And exactly, right? And to this day, I don't care if you're a kid or you're in college or you're in the NFL. Somebody like acknowledging that you're doing some good stuff, it feels good, right? And for men in general, men always feel like, that's another thing, like exactly macho. Like I feel like, you can't show that sensitive side, and that's where we get messed up with the mental health and everything else, right?
Start going down dark holes, because
exactly,
you hold on to all that shit, especially someone like you and some of the guys that's on high levels or high level lawyers or high level doctors, people that deal with high levels of stress that just keep all that shit in. Like it can't be good for you.
No, it's not good. It's not healthy. And the fact of the matter is, like, you got to be able to speak up and say when you're not okay. And the fact is, at some point, all of us are not going to be okay. And it's okay. It's okay. A couple days go that doesn't go your way and some stuff has happened. It's okay. Like things ain't feeling right. We all get depressed at some point, right? Whether we know it or not, we're all always dealing with something. And I think that, like, speaking as a dad and as a man, it's like you sit here and you feel like, I'm the man of the house. I'm doing this. I feel like I got to do, the weight's all on me at certain points. And it's not, because the thing is, if you communicate with your wife and you guys are on the same page, both you guys are going through it.
That's the key. Communicate. Because if you don't communicate, how could your wife or your partner know that you need help?
Exactly, right? And yeah, you are dad though. I've always, like, for me, I'm going on a rant and stuff, but for me, it's like, my father always told us, like, when, you guys are hurting and stuff as young kids, and my father, his father really wasn't in his life, so his brother helped take care of him. They were both two peas in a pod and did everything. But like for him, he was like, when you guys was hurting and stuff, you guys come to Dad. When my wife is not feeling good and stuff, he goes to me, her husband. When something goes wrong with me, I really ain't got nobody to go to. That's right? True. I'm Dad. I'm the one that got, so, you can only say so much, to your wife. You can't really say nothing to your kids. And growing up, we went through some rough stuff, and you would never know my father and my mother were going through stuff because they kept everything the same. We had a great childhood when it came to being with each other and loving each other. Yeah, we didn't have no money, but they made it sound like, you would think we were the richest people in the world because of how we did things with each other, right? And behind closed doors, my father and them was freaking out about how we gonna keep our house, how we gonna do this, and I admire that. I'm telling you, I admire that because like that pushed me to be like my father. Like everything I do, and now sometimes it's like, what would my father have done, right? What would my father do at this situation? And yeah, I'm not my father, I'm me, but like that man has put, he's been my role model to somebody I look up to that I feel like did it right. Yeah. And, you know, and a lot of men can't say the same thing, and they have to hold it in, and they just need somebody to talk to, man. And that's why we get in these locker rooms, and some of the players, like, we open up to each other, we talk, and that stuff feels good because now it's like the weight's off my shoulder of me, like, because, hey, I may be able to help somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if it's just talking, say, hey, man, I'm there for you. Now I know. Now I'm understanding that, like, what he's going through. Like, you know, he maybe have a bad play or stuff like that, but and I know what he's going through, so now I can talk to him a little bit more. Like, hey, man, it's okay. Yeah. Like, you know, we can get through this. You can get through this shit. Let's go. You know, and you know, it's one thing that's not talked about enough, man.
Ever since my daughter's been born, I always tell her, try your best. Like anytime we're doing anything, any activity, I say just try your best. And now she'll say it to other people, and it's just like, what? Like what? She said, my dad always tells, and it's just like, it's a simple concept. Just always try your best, man.
My son used to have a problem being like, I can't do this, and I was telling him, yeah. And for me, and like, Phil, don't ever tell me you can't, because what's funny is he says he can't, and then he does it, and he has the biggest smile on his face, right? And it's like letting him know it's something small, letting him know that, like, look, man, don't ever say you can't. Try, and then ask, right? Because at some point you're gonna get it, and then it's gonna feel the best. And it could be something like getting a little blocking for him. But he finally does it, and he feels like he conquered the world. That's the best feeling, is knowing your son just find out he can do something. Because the reality is we all can do it.
Always. If you put your mind to it, I feel like anything is possible. All right, I'm gonna let you out of here, man. Everyone on the podcast wants to know, I always end the show the same way, with you giving advice back to entrepreneurs, creatives, athletes, someone that's like on the fence. Like, this podcast is called Less Talk, More Do.
Yeah.
We both know sometimes you got to talk yourself up. To that person that's like right on the verge of hitting their dream, getting what they want, what advice would you give them, in your opinion, that you've seen work? Like, what would you tell somebody that's right there, but they just...
What I tell you is this, right? When you don't want to do something, you do it, right? It could be something small. When you don't want to make your bed, you make it, right? When you don't want to get up early, you get up early. Because what it's doing is it's training your body, it's training your mind that I have control over you. And a lot of times when I notice that a lot is in the mornings, you're happy, you're going, you know, everything started, okay? And then when you get to being where the kids are in bed, your wife's in bed, and it's dark and there's nobody but you, that's when like the demons start talking. That's when things start coming up, second guessing yourself and the sadness and stuff. And that's when you got to be able to pull yourself together and be like, yo, it's not about just me. So when you're just on the edge, do it. Okay, because you never know when that breakthrough is gonna go. You never know.
Yeah, and if you quit, you'll never get to it.
Oh, there's no reason to quit. What else you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We sit here, we want to quit, but the thing is, if you really love it, you're gonna want to come back to it, because the fact of the matter is, at some point, it's going to break, and you're going to get through there, and you're gonna be happy that you did it, and you're gonna look back and be like, man, I did it. You know, I did it. I did something. I did the impossible. I did something that somebody told me they couldn't. I love when people say I couldn't do it, because now it's like, okay, now I'm gonna really show you. If you think that I can't do it, now we're going to see. And I think that's why I've been able to be as successful as I have on the football field.
And you're gonna keep being successful. And I know for you, it's probably the same thing as probably for you. I mean, I got this from Kobe. Your expectations for you is probably high. Like that person that said whatever they said about you, your expectations is already here. So it's like, of course I'm gonna fucking hit this. Like, exactly. I'm gonna do, like, I'm holding myself to like
I never sit here and be like, oh, I went for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, I'm happy. Like, that's not what it is, because my whole thing is like, it's not about, that's not why I came here to do. I came here to win. I came here to better myself. Exactly, right?
Whatever you got to do that night for the team to win, you're going to do it.
Exactly, right? I came for, and like, everything else will come as it comes. But I didn't come to go get 100 yards for one game. I came to leave a legacy that I've built my whole entire life, that my father helped me build. And for me, it's like to leave something for my son. And hopefully another one, you know, as we you know, go on with our lives.
I love that, man. Well, I'm gonna give you your flowers right now. That's something that shout out to the guys at the Pivot. That's something that I feel like as guys we don't do, like being in front of you, like you did, like high school, college, NFL, Pro Bowl. You should have. There's a lot of things that you should have got because you worked for them. You had the numbers. Numbers don't lie. You had the numbers. Some of those things you didn't get. But what you did as a running back, as a player, as a kid from Denver, I feel like I got to give you flowers, bro, because I mean, it's amazing, man. And it comes from everything that you just said, from hard work, dedication, and you're not done. Like I'm sitting here looking around the field about to bust out the goddamn shirt. Like you still ready to go. And even if you don't, and I'm not wishing that, whatever you do next, you're gonna do it at that same Pro Bowl level.
That's all I know how to do. And I think that if people would understand that after football, like life's not over, like it's just starting. That you got to find something that you love to do. I think that's what the thing is, like we all are trying to live life. We're all trying to survive, and we're all trying to, all of us, right? And it doesn't matter if you're making hundreds of millions or whatever, you still got to survive, right? And I think that like when people understand that and get off this high horse and think they're better than everybody, and understand that at the end of the day, we all like are on the same level, right?
Up, we live, we all gonna
that's
die
it. Exactly, right? That's the one, right? We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but there's one fact at the end of all this. One thing we all die. So the thing is this: I'm not gonna sit here and wait for that time to come. I'm gonna do what I have to do, and when it comes, and I'm gonna do what I can do with it, and make sure that I leave my son in the best hands and the best situations he can be before I leave this earth.
Yeah, all right, Phil. Let the people know where they can connect with you if they want to follow you or all
right,
that.
man. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Those are the two major things. And I post. Here often. I don't do too much, but I post, man. And you guys out there just keep going. And when anytime something gets bad, that just know that something good is around the corner. And if you guys need somebody to talk to, always go talk to somebody. People are going to listen to you, and you just need to get things off your chest.
I'm going to link all Phil's social medias in the show notes, his Instagram, Twitter. Once he does start his project that he got in the works, I'm going to link that so you guys can connect with him. Appreciate you guys tuning into the podcast. This is the podcast. Let's Talk More. Peace.